I'm Liz Southers.
I'm James Southers.
This is Brody Southers, and he's the product of our first home birth experience. It was incredible. Just so natural and hands off. My midwife did not touch me until it was time for me to push. Everything was just happened so organically. There was not a single intervention during my pregnancy, my birth, after. It was just the coolest experience. I'm so glad I got to experience it. The reason we decided to go with the home birth instead of a traditional hospital birth was because Mandy has always talked to me about it and thought I'd be a good candidate. Everything was always very healthy, and it's just, I don't know, I really just wanted to see if I could do it, see if I could experience it. My first birth, I was completely terrified. I had an epidural in the hospital. I was full of fear. I didn't think I could do it. And it was really easy. I don't, recall any pain or suffering, nothing. It was very easy. And the second birth, it was a little harder of a pregnancy, and I was full of fear that I couldn't do it. I was afraid the pain would be too much, or I would give up and I wouldn't be able to finish and then end up at the hospital anyway, but it was nothing like that.
The two things I would share about it are the intimacy that you get to experience when you're at home. You don't have to go worry about going to the hospital. You don't have to worry about people telling you what you're going to do or what you want. That was probably the biggest part of it for having a home birth, and being comfortable that the fact that you're at home. The other thing is, like she was talking about, the biggest question that was always asked to me was about having it at home and the dangers of it. And she touched on it. There's a very strict guideline on being able to have a home birth. So the dangers aren't as high as people expect them to be, or what they see them as. My suggestion is if we have another one, we would prefer to have a home birth.
Absolutely. We've had both. We've had the hospital and home hands down was the greatest experience.
I'm Carrie. This is my baby Cal. Cal's 13 months. We are from Jupiter, Florida. I'm a mom of 4. My first 3 pregnancies were pretty easy, so I never really used a doula or any kind of help. But with Cal, he was not so easy. And so I reached out to Julia, and she helped me through tremendously. She offered me tips on different foods to eat to help me gain weight that I needed so that Cal could be healthy. She gave me different options to try to help with my stomach, to help me keep things in so that we could use them.
Yeah, she had a really rough time. She wasn't quite hyperemesis, but she was borderline that direction. So weight gain and nutrition for the baby and her were definitely difficult. So It was going through everything and figuring out what works for her, and really taking the time to look at her current diet and what we could change so that they could both gain weight and be healthy.
Yeah. So Julia gave me a diet plan and kind of was like an accountability partner. But with all that, I had a really hard time emotionally with my family, my husband, with my children, just trying to be a good mom to them. So Julia was really my friend, like my therapist. She helped me through that, and I couldn't have did it without her.
And then after, she had an amazing fast labor with this little guy.
Yes.
And afterwards, we've worked on lactation, and they wanted to supplement formula. So we're like, how can we avoid supplementing? And we worked on fattening up her milk supply with different things, and just finding what worked. And in the end, she's had a really good time nursing, and we've worked together, and she's amazing. And so is this little guy.
We're still nursing and going strong and happy and healthy.
Yes.
And gaining weight that we need.
Yes.
I'm Carrie.
And I'm Julia, the co-owner of Palm Beach Maternity Center and Bella Vita Birth.
And I use Julia for a lot of her services during my pregnancy and then after my pregnancy.
Yeah, we actually met through her liking a pair of shoes that I had. And so from there, we kind of like met. And I think the cool thing about this business is, you know, we're more than just your doula and your support. You know, we're your friends. We care about you. We've been through what you're going through. So she came to me and was having a lot of difficulty gaining weight, and it was her 4th baby, and it was just, you know, a process. So
it was difficult. With my first 3, we didn't have any problems. We had a healthy, happy, easy pregnancy for the most part. And with Cal, it was completely different. I experienced morning sickness throughout the whole pregnancy, all day. I was sick, and I just couldn't gain the weight that I was needing to be healthy for the baby or for myself. So Julia, I reached out to Julia, and she was there for me. She helped provide different ideas to try to eat, different options for me, different things to help give Cal, my baby, exactly what he needed to grow. And she wrote out a diet plan for me and just kind of was an accountability partner.
Yeah, we looked at her current nutrition and where she could be missing calories or what kind of healthy fats she could have to make up for her and the baby. And it was a process, but it was definitely worth it because in the end, you know, she had a healthy baby and a quick birth at the hospital.
With all of it, it was a very draining emotionally and mentally. I needed a lot of support, and Julia was that support to me. She became my go-to for every kind of issue I had in my life going on, and she became my friend, a really close friend. We have a bond now that I will always cherish, and that bond was formed throughout my pregnancy and after Cal was born.
Yeah, she had not struggled with nursing with any of her other babies, and the doctor was suggesting some different formula, supplementation. So we worked really hard to up the fat content of her milk. And, you know, we talked daily, and I would, you know, hold her accountable. Are you doing this? You know, all the little fun things that we add to help. And at the end, she didn't use formula, and she's still nursing at 13 months.
Yeah, he's still going strong. He's growing. He's healthy. He's on the chart, which is a big deal for him. And it's thanks to Julia and all her help to get my milk supply up and fatty and good for the baby.
Yeah.
So I think from coming from experience that I never really thought I would need help. I never thought to reach out to anybody. And I am so grateful and happy that I did, because I don't know where I would be if Cal would be still nursing now without Julia. I just am so happy that it worked out and I found Julia and she was there for me. So I think no matter who you are, where you come from, or what you've been through, a doula is a great, great person to be by your side during pregnancy and afterwards.
Hi, I'm Vanessa, and this is Grady, and we had an amazing experience with Mandy and her team. My first son was born in the hospital, and things didn't go as planned. When I became pregnant with my second, with Grady, me and my husband wanted something different because we knew the hospital just didn't fit us this time. And after doing research and looking around, we found Mandy in the Palm Beach Maternity Center. And after speaking with her, we knew she was the perfect fit for us. She made us feel super comfortable right from the start. And we decided to go ahead and go with her throughout the whole pregnancy and labor. She was fully supportive of everything that we wanted and made us feel completely safe. And as a nurse, that was huge for me. And I can't begin to describe the great experience I had and how much I recommend Mandy and her team. Hi, I'm Vanessa, and this is Grady, and we're from Palm Beach, Florida, and we chose an out-of-hospital birth with Mandy and her team because our first experience in hospital for my oldest son wasn't what we expected and didn't go how we planned. After doing a bunch of research and deciding that an out-of-hospital birth was the best choice for us, we found Mandy, and after speaking with her, we couldn't be more pleased with our experience and how supportive we felt. She answered all of our questions, made us feel safe and comfortable in our choice and our decision. She supported us throughout our entire pregnancy, throughout the labor, and even postpartum. And still to this day, we know she's there for us. We highly recommend her and her team in the Palm Beach Maternity Center for out-of-hospital birth. And you couldn't be... I just mind blanked on that last. And you couldn't put yourself in better hands than Mandy and her team.
Hi, my name is Nelly Alvarez, and I'm here to talk about my awesome midwife, Mandy Rojas. She was there with me in different settings with all 3 of my kids, from birth center with the first one to the hospital with my diabetes that she helped me through with the second one, to finally having my dream home birth with my youngest one that was just born a few months ago. She's great, and definitely if you want to have a relaxing dream birth, you should definitely have Mandy as your midwife.